Hey guys, real quick, if you will leave a comment after you watch a video, that'll help me out a lot. Since I'm a new channel, it will help me show up in suggested playlists and searches and things like that. Thanks so much. Bye guys. Hey y'all, and welcome back to Tobacco Leaf Legacies. I'm Cheryl, and today I'm going to show you inside the pack house. I've showed you the outside of it. Today I am working on the inside. I'm trying to go through all the mess that's in there, you'll see it in a second, and figure out some things to sell. I've got to take pictures, I've got to figure out prices, I've got to get it on Marketplace. It's a whole process. But I thought while I was doing all that it would be a good time to take y'all inside and show you around. All right, so I'm gonna flip the camera around here. All right. Okay, well, I've already showed you the outside of it here. Over here, of course, let's just start over here. Of course, this is all a mess now and we've got it full of all sorts of other stuff, but Granddaddy used to keep the tractor and other tools and implements and things that he used over here. I don't know if you can see in the video all these things flying around. Flipping around again real quick. We've got carpenter bees here. Do y'all have carpenter bees where you are? Oh my God, they are the size of the end of your thumb. They're huge. Supposedly they don't bite, but I don't believe that. I feel like anything that's flying can sting, but that's because I had an incident just out here where I got stung when I was little and I wasn't doing a dang thing to deserve it, but that's another story anyway. Can't tell. I have a lot of stories. But anyway, these little suckers, I have been fighting them for years. I don't like bugs and flying things. So anyway, flip it around again here. There we go. And my brother was actually out here, of course, when Granddaddy was doing everything with tobacco. So I unfortunately don't have memories, that include that part. It doesn't include the tobacco, it doesn't include with my grandfather or anything, simply because I came along very late in life and don't have that. But my brother does. He's got some pretty cool memories here. I'm hoping to keep some of these bricks that we've got. These are original bricks that were here, because I'm fairly certain we had a stove in here in the winter. Okay, so when we go in, first thing I'm going to tell you about here, it's right here on the floor. And that doesn't seem very interesting, right? You're saying, Cheryl, that's just a floor. That's boring. See, let me get, where am I in the light here? There I am. What we had right here, at the door right there, was a pit. And what the pit was, from my understanding, so if there's any tobacco farmers or people that did this, and if I'm a little off, correct me. But when the tobacco came in and they hung it in the barns and it dried, and then it became, brittle, it was a dry leaf, right? So what they did was the pit that was underneath here, okay, underneath the floor, was in the dirt. And if you've ever dug a deep enough, big enough hole in the dirt, you know that it's very damp and very cool. And so that is what helped made the leaves pliable again. So that way then they could bring them inside here into the pack house and pack them up and get ready to go. And apparently back in the day, I've heard stories from some other people that they were very particular about how you rolled them up, and you had to sort of, I guess there was a grading system. I don't understand this 100%, but there was a grading system. And so when you would roll up your tobacco leaves and get them ready to take to market, you also kind of had to divvy them up based on whatever their parameters were. And so it was quite a process. It was like that for many, many years. I believe in the late 60s, early 70s, some of that stopped. So they didn't have to continue to spend so much time sorting the leaves and rolling them up so precisely and all that. I think they dropped some of the parameters a little bit. So anyway, so we had the pit there, but years ago, because I remember coming in here when I was little, younger, it was always, okay, watch the door, you know, because it was dangerous. I mean, when you opened that, it was a drop. You know, it was a drop. It was a huge hole in the ground. But that has since been filled up with dirt and the floor redone and everything. And, you know, I haven't found that original door. It's interesting. It's all the things that I have found, you know, as I've been going through stuff. I haven't found that. That's interesting, because I would like to keep that. But anyway, okay.
I mean, this is where we used to, this is where the fine tuning of the tobacco took place right here, because this is where we would, back in the day, we had to take a certain number of leaves and wrap them with another leaf and place them on a tobacco slide, a pallet, and burlap it up, take it to market. And the pit that Cheryl mentioned was under this whole section of the Packhouse. I mean, it was big, and it was probably, I'd say, 8 to 10 foot deep. Granddaddy hand dug that thing, and it kept water in it most of the time, but it was used to put tobacco in there to soften it up, so that when it came out of being cured, it was crispy, and then it would have to get to a certain texture before they could actually get it ready to go to market. And if things didn't get to that point, they would put some of it in the pit, and the moisture there would, the leaves would soak up the moisture, and then it would get back to where it needed to be, and before it went to market. So
make it more pliable.
And then we filled it in, and I had the pleasure of doing that. That was really a lot of fun. Yes.
How did y'all fill it in anyway?
Dirt, bobcat, shovel. I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Did it have to be filled in? I mean, why?
You know, it's like water in your basement kind of thing. I mean, you got water under your structure.
Well.
I mean, it creates problems.
Okay.
So, anyway, it's been a long time ago now, but, and then we didn't take the door. I mean, we didn't tear anything, no walls out or anything. So all we had was this one 3-foot door right here, and all the dirt that filled that thing up went right in that door and right in that pit, and then I had to go down there and shovel it to get it.
I was gonna say, who was in the pit doing that?
Yeah, guess what?
Okay, so let's flip this around again, and what I'm going to show you here is just some of my grandfather's handiwork with the wood. Now, y'all, this wood, I mean, this is original wood. Here, let me kind of pull the door to a little bit. Now, the handle has been, that was something my dad did. It didn't, you know, originally come with that. But the rest of this is all original wood that my grandfather, probably grandfathers, cut and brought in here and put together. Now it gets a little bit darker over here, but you can still see. The wood is still amazing, okay? It is still very good quality wood, and I'm hoping, I don't know if I'll be able to find this. I mentioned this in another video. I would love to find like a barnwood, you know, buyer kind of person that could maybe take some of this down and take some of these pieces out and reuse it. You know, I mean, the wood is good, the wood is vintage, you know, it looks great, you know, the way that it's aged with the color and all that. And I don't know, we'll see if I can find that. I would like to. Okay, so I'll flip this around again and kind of show you more of my mess. Like the blinds over here, yeah, those blinds are from the late 60s, early 70s. Yeah, I'm keeping those. We had those on the porch. So you see, just gonna kind of pan the camera here. Now, obviously, there is nothing in here that is like my grandfather left it, because, you know, all of that is long gone. Of course, I still have some tools and different things. Yep, there's our original door that was in the living room, still in here. You see all of the many, many boxes of just mess. You know, you got a workshop and stuff, you're gonna have just all sorts of stuff. Over here, This is stuff that I've already gone through and took photos of and tried to price to, you know, get ready to list. Over here, same thing. Now, you know, I don't know with the workbench if Granddaddy built the workbench or if my dad did. That's something I'd probably have to ask my brother about. More of my memories are from when Dad was here, of course, because he's the only one that... Flip it around again. You know, when I was growing up, this was his workshop, and all of his tools were in here and everything. And so most of my memories in here have to do with Dad. And it's just kind of another one of those. It's interesting between, you know, me and my brother that, you know, he has more memories from being with Granddaddy, and me coming along 16 years later, I've got all the memories that are associated with Dad here. So anyway, but you see this, and this is just one room. Got another room over there I'll show you in a second. But I am going through trying to, now some of this is just mess, okay? I mean, let's just be real. Some of this is just mess. You know, throw it in a box and, you know, take it to a donation place. Or if it's metal, throw it in that box and take it to a scrap metal place. But, you know, some other stuff, you know, that Dad had, the tools are still nice. Some of them are new. There are literally some new things out here that he didn't use. And I just, you know, I said in another video out here that I love to recycle and reuse and repurpose. And same thing, you know, with all this stuff. If somebody can get some use out of it, and it doesn't cost me a whole lot of time, then that's really, you know, what I would like to do. So, work in progress. Hello, welcome to my mess. All right, so let's flip this around, and I will show you. We'll go on the other side. And now, I don't know the significance to the sides here. Again, back to tobacco days, I'm not really sure. I would have to ask my brother. I'm sure it was part packing up the tobacco, and it was part of workshop for Granddaddy as well, and I'm sure storage. Okay, so let's go on in here, and you can see the rest of my mess. Obviously, Dad added these lights. That was not something that was original. All of these tools and things are his. Just kind of pan here a little bit, show you. Now, this was a cabinet, of course, that Dad added. Kind of walk around here. If you can see that little patterned, it's not really a rug. It's not really the right kind of material. It's almost like a really old linoleum kind of thing. That was actually in my mom's house when she was first married, years ago. Got a bunch of stuff back there that I've already kind of separated that I'm keeping. Y'all need any wood? Need any wood scrap? Oh my gosh, I got plenty. So that's what it looks like in here. Speaking of carpenter bees, there's one of those little suckers that gets in here. I got to get him out in a minute. Oh, I hate getting him out. Ugh. So anyway, so that's in here, and all of this stuff, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to sell. Like this right here, if you can see. Like that little cart. I mean, that's new. You know, I don't want to just toss that. For somebody that can use that, is looking for that kind of storage, I mean, that's helpful, right? So, you know, this is it. This is what we're doing. I have got, flip this around again. These are the old windows that were in the house. My parents took out the windows to put new ones in, because as you can see, like the ropes and things? Okay, yeah, original windows. So my brother had explained to me that there were weights and different things that was like attached to the ropes, and that's how you would open and close them. I'm not familiar with that. He's familiar with that. But I did keep some of them for myself because, I mean, I love old windows and I think that's kind of fun. I want to show you something over here. It doesn't look like much. You see this board and this board, okay? And you see that board and you kind of see the one above it. I know it's dark. Well, And let me also show you, of course, we see the staircase here, right? Okay, flip it back around. The slats on the wall, that was Granddaddy's ladder to get upstairs, which we'll go upstairs here in a second. It amazes me to this day because we also have something like that out at the horse barn. There was not, my dad was the one that built the proper steps to go up there. Granddaddy literally had, that was their ladder. They nailed on the slats onto the wood and you climbed up that to get up there. No ladder. Ladders are for sissies, right? I don't need a ladder, just nail on some wood there on the side and I'll climb up that. I mean, can you imagine? I can't imagine. So yeah, these the proper steps have probably only been here the last 15, 20 years or so. Isn't that nuts? Okay, so I'm gonna have to kind of climb here because I've got so much stuff and it's gonna be dark, so it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but ooh, I'm gonna take you up here anyway. Oh my goodness. Okay. Like I said, very kind of hard to see. I know. Kind of go over here by the light. So the original floor and all that. I mean, all of this is just the original work of my grandfather. More wood. Seriously, y'all need wood? Because I can hook you up. And I don't know if you can see, we've got all sorts of stuff stuck up here too to have to do something with. There is probably a, I don't know, 15, 20 degree difference from down there to up here. It is amazing. There's no AC. So when I have come out here to work, I've just had to work with the weather. And especially when I had to do work up here, I made sure to come up here on a cold day. Because if it was cold downstairs, then that meant at least it was workable up here. So, and again, I don't know. I wish I had, I have to ask my brother, I wish I had specific stories or like specific things like, you know, Granddaddy had this here or Mama did this here. But this is what happens when you come along late in life. And this is what happens when you don't ask questions and you don't write things down and you don't preserve memories and things like that. Then, you know, it comes along to somebody like me who is interested in this, and all of a sudden, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm left wondering and guessing, and this is why I tell you, if you're interested in family history or anything, go talk to the older people and write stuff down that they tell you. Record them, write it down, video, whatever you need to do. Because when those folks are gone, those memories are gone. The history is gone. And that's just really sad. Okay, so let's go back downstairs. I do want to show you one other thing. Now, I'm actually in the car shelter at the moment, but this is something that was in front of the Packhouse as long as I can remember, as long as my brother can remember. So, I mean, I'm sure it was made by Granddaddy probably in the 40s, I'm guessing, or 50s. Okay, let me uncover it here. In fact, this will be easier. Flip this around. Okay. You see this, right? And if you look real close, now this is something that he made. He cut it here at an angle, cut it here at an angle, took a piece of post, okay, metal post, and I believe this down here was some sort of hubcap, okay? And this is what you did in the day. You know, you didn't run out to Home Depot and buy stuff. You didn't run out to Lowe's. You didn't order it on Amazon. You looked at what you had around you and you made something. I've been calling that an anvil. I think that's the proper name for it. So, you know, whenever you needed something to hammer on really hard, straighten something out, you know, whatever, it's got to be metal, right? It's got to be really strong. And so that is what has been sitting out in front of the pack house, like I said, probably since the 40s for Granddaddy to use. And it wasn't even something that he bought. He made that. He created that. And it's stuff like that that I just love, you know, because that was what you did at the time. Like I said, you found, you know, whatever you had on property, whatever you had on hand, and you used that, you know, you made it. And it shows a different way of living. Now, I mean, obviously, because of our conveniences, I guess, because we can go to Home Depot, because we just don't live that way, you know, it's not as much necessity to have to make stuff. But it's why I also encourage folks to not be wasteful and to try to fix things instead of just going, you know, and buying something new. Because I said in another video, you know, we can't sustain that. It's just kind of crazy. And I really like that mentality of trying to use what we can and fix what we can so that we can keep on. And so anyway, so I just wanted to show you that he made, that had been, you know, sitting in front of the pack house, because my brother and I just love it. We think that, you know, it's really cool, and even more cool because he put it together himself. So hopefully you got a kick out of my sped up little mini version of what I'm doing in there. Like I said, it's not very exciting, it's very time consuming, but you know, it's still stuff that needs to be done and somebody's got to do it, so here I am. So that's what my next 2 or 3 days is basically going to consist of, so just thought I'd show you a little bit. And I think with that will conclude this video, conclude our little tour of the pack house. And you know, if I get, when I go to edit this video, I may see if I can ask my brother if he's got any little tidbits that he wants to share about it, and then maybe I can kind of add it, maybe I'll add it in or something when I'm editing. It'll be kind of interesting. So, and as I always remind you, time is precious, carpe diem, seize the day. See you next time.